Hey guys, it's Will here, back with another battle report, and look what we have here. It's the Orkz Codex. Just got my hands on this, haven't had a chance to read it in full yet, but definitely going to be good for a game with that tonight. And we're going up against the Necrons, so yeah, this will be a bit different. I'm facing Sam, but he's going to be not using Orkz. After playing Orkz for the majority of this edition and moaning how he wants a Codex, Codex is out. Now, he basically didn't have time to prepare a list and he's feeling a tad under the weather, which is an excuse if he loses. Ollie gave him his cold. But yeah, he's going to be commanding his Necrons, which you may have seen kick the butt of my Eldar before, and I've got my Evil Sunz Cult of Speed out. Haven't rolled for mission yet, but I think we're going to do one of the Maelstrom ones from the chapter approved. Let's take a look at the army. So yeah, Evil Sunz Cult of Speed, mostly mechanised, or I've got one unit on foot. Leading the force, got my War Boss. He's got the Power Claw, the Attack Squig, and the Combi Scorcher on there. It's my old converted Black Reach War Boss. And then I got my Weird Boy. He's just stock Weird Boy. Obviously going to have to jump. Might upgrade into a Warp Head, try that out, not sure yet. Then for troops, got a big blob of 30 boys. Yes, they're not in a vehicle, but there isn't anything faster than teleporting, so they may well get to jump. Then I've got 11, it's 10 now, with sluggers and choppers, Nob with a power claw, and they're riding in a truck that doesn't actually have a wrecking ball, but it was already built on the model, and I didn't feel like snapping it off just yet. 10 shooter boys, there's a big shooter in there, and a Nob, and they've got a truck, and another 10 shooter boys with a Nob and a big shooter in a truck. Then I got my tank busters, 10 of them. No Nob because I haven't built one, even though he's now free upgrade. So I'll say this guy with the hat is the Nob for now. And they're going to have a another truck. Yes, it looks like a looted wagon, but it's a truck. Then for my snazzy bits, got the Bone Crusher battle wagon. So it's the combat equipped battle wagon. Got the Death Roller, 2 big shooters, and the hard case on there. And riding in there is going to be 7 Nobs. So I've got 3 power claws in there, a big chopper, and a couple of regular ones. War bikes. You can't really have Evil Sunz without war bikes, and they got a nice points drop in the Codex. So 1 unit of 5, 1 unit of 6, both with Nobs with power claws. And finally, my latest addition, just finished him last night, or at least finished him enough to get him on the table, the Shokkjump Dragsta. So looking to have some fun with that cannon on there. Although Sam doesn't appear to have any vehicles, so it's going to be taking out hard infantry targets rather than vehicles today. And yeah, that is 1750 points of Evil Sunz. The Cult of Speed is back. Oh, and if I lose, it's because I haven't had a chance to build this yet. All my list plans need this.
Right, so here's my Necrons. Main reason I'm playing my Necrons is because I don't have enough energy to push 120 Orks about, and I'm ill. So, starting with my battalion, which is Batrep, my Warlord, Overlord with Resurrection Orb and War Scythe, and his Warlord trait will be Immortal Pride, which gives him a deny and a bubble of immune to morale, which is always nice. Second in command, a Cryptek on foot with Chronometron, and he just has stuff like troops wise. I have 2 units of 10 Tesla Immortals, just because Tesla Immortals are the better option in my opinion over Gauss, so we'll see what happens in the future coming up. And a blob of 20 warriors because I actually like having big blobs. Then I have a Nephric Outrider detachment, being led by a Cryptek with Canoptic Cloak and stuff like. Main reason for Canoptic Cloak and not Chronometron is it's a damn cool model. I then have 2 units of 3 Scarabs, just for some screening. 2 units of 5 Destroyers because Destroyers are good, and Wraiths because Wraiths. And that's my 1750.
Alright, so we've got Tactical Gambit for the mission tonight. So before you draw your cards, you have to guess how many you think you're going to score, and then if you don't, your opponent scores some points. So it's a tough one. And Hammer and Anvil deployment. So the Necrons are a fair way away from me, so probably no early charges here, but we're fast, we should be able to cover the ground. and we have got more objectives in my deployment zone. And Sam's found a random Orc Dreadnought that's not in either of our lists. So yeah, the Necrons got the Wraiths at the front and Scarabs screening the sides. How about I come over here? The Scarabs screening the sides. Big blob in the middle. There's Veil of Darkness on the Warlord. So no. Oh, it's on the Cryptex. Sorry, Veil of Darkness on the Cryptex. So something might be coming up the board. 1 unit destroyers in the back, 1 in reserves. The Wraiths in the front are what's worrying me though, because yeah, they'll actually take Orcs in combat. I was a little stumped for how to deploy mine because I'm really rusty on playing Orcs. Haven't properly played them in this edition since the launch night. So I've got my Knobs and my Warboss in the Bone Crusher in the middle, backed up by the second Boys mob. Bikes on the flanks, looking to get forward and be a bit of a nuisance. Shooter Boys a little bit further back to grab objectives. The big mob planning to use the jump, so they're at the back with the Weird Boy in the middle. Tank Busters here because I wasn't quite sure where else to put them. And the Dragster at the back, primarily to stop deep striking into that back corner because I didn't cover that well, but also because it doesn't really matter where he deploys. Because in Evil Sunz, because it's a bonus to the roll as opposed to a bonus to the movement. I mean, it's on a 3+ on his run move or advance move, he will teleport, so he isn't going to stay there long. Anyway, at the moment Sam has +1 to go first, so let's see who's up first. I got a 3.
That's a D12.
And Sam's trying to roll a D12. It's a 6. So at the moment the Necrons are up first, and I failed to seize the initiative. So Necron first turn. Just a couple of quick notes. I spent a command point to make my Weird Boy a Warp Head, so he has the jump and Warpath. My Warboss is obviously going to be my Warlord. He has the Evil Sunz Warlord trait, which is going to allow me to fall back and charge in the same turn within 6 inches of him. And he's also got the Killer Claw, just because it's a nice simple relic to remember. Anyway, here we go with Necron, turn 1. So the Necrons guessed, or Sam guessed 2 for his objectives, but then had a pretty poor draw. He had defend 2, defend 4, behind enemy lines and overwhelming firepower. He was a bit too far off for overwhelming firepower, so he elected to play very defensively and just keeping away from the Orcs, except the Wraiths, who charged up the board, used a command point to allow them to act normally after running. So yeah, or advancing, sorry, I still want to call it running. I've been playing too many of the old editions. Yeah, they managed to charge my bikes and wipe them out for no casualties. So yeah, that was nasty. That got him first blood and got him into my deployment zone. So he's got 2 points there, but because he didn't score his guess, I got 2 points as well. So 2-2 as we head into the first Orc turn, and I think it's time to fight back. So I gambited 1, which worked out quite nicely because I had Supremacy, Hold the Line, Advance, and Big Game Hunter. Big Game Hunter's getting discarded because he has no big game to hunt, but Supremacy was going to be the one to go for because there are plenty of objectives and I got the speed to grab them. But the real thing I wanted to do was deal with the Wraiths, and I've just remembered I've forgotten to do some things in my assault phase, but hey, that will stop me forgetting them in future. Yeah, kind of swarmed all of this around the Wraiths to shoot them and then charge them. Moved up my war bikes, and the Shokkjump Dragsta got its first jump and went to there within range to shoot the Necrons, and held Batrep back to hold that objective. Then the psychic phase, Weird Boy cast Warpath on the 30-man mob, and then the jump. And my camera's getting stuck. They jumped all the way over there, which would have been great if I hadn't forgotten to then assault with them. They're 9 inches out, they're in a great position, and I forgot to charge with them, and yeah, so I lost the opportunity there, which sucks big time. Over here, shooting eventually brought down 1 Wraith, but it was all of this tank busters, boys, trucks, everything firing at them, and did very little. That toughness 5 3+ invert is really solid on there. Then charged in, hoping that the Bone Crusher was going to was it Bone Crusher or Bone Breaker? The new snazzy battle wagon was going to do some serious damage, but it completely woofed its attacks. He hit back and killed 2 boys, used his 2 command point stratagem to do that. And then I attacked with all my boys and brought down another 1 or 2. So he's down to 3 wraiths now, but not the fight we wanted to have. That was not a good day for the Orcs. And then I've remembered I forgot to do the boarding action stratagem with the crew of the battle wagon, which would have probably may have nabbed me another wraith, because there's some power claws in there. That could have done something, but yeah, so a big learning curve that turn. It's been a while since I played Orcs, and you know, bit of tough love on not letting me redo things is fair enough. It'll stop me forgetting them in future. On the plus side, I got Supremacy for D3, so I've got 2 for that, which gives me 4, plus 1 for the thing, so I'm on 5. Going into the Necron turn, Sam had Defend 5 and Defend 4, Area Denial, and Overwhelming Firepower. And Overwhelming Firepower really was the aim of the game here, and it really cost me. My mistakes from previous turns really came back to bite me, particularly over there. So he stepped up his gun line ever so slightly and used Veil of Darkness to bring these boys up this Immortals up this side, and also moved the Destroyers up behind them. Oh no, those ones are the deep striking ones. Those Destroyers came out reserves. The standard unit moved up from there, and yeah, he opened up with everything he had. So the Destroyers took out the truck, the Immortals then took out the tank busters that came out of it. Over here, the Destroyers wiped out the bikes, and the Immortals and Warriors left me with about 6 boys left over there from that squad that I forgot to charge last turn. And over here, the Immortals, they feel like Immortals because they're unkillable wraiths, came out of combat and are able to charge, so fair enough, they wiped out my weird boy. So a nasty turn. His only actual score was Overwhelming Firepower, so it's lucky he gambited 1, but let's see if he gets the D3. 2 points, because he killed 3 units, so that is 3 points in total. So there we go, that is the end of that turn. I did spend 2 command points to keep those boys there, because I have a cunning plan. Playing it safe again in a very un-orky fashion, I gambited just the 1 this turn. Assassinate, Scour the Skies, and then still hold the line and advance. So in theory there were some options there, but it didn't really go as planned. So I decided to ignore these guys and just, you know, nothing was scratching them, so it's like, why bother? So I instead focused on getting over here, holding the centre ground to deny him that, doing a little bit of shooting, and finally, at the end of the movement phase, used the Unstoppable Green Tide stratagem to bring back these boys who were over there. So there's like 6 of them left, and for 3 CP I could bring back them to full strength. They, as you can see, got the charge in on the Destroyers, but unfortunately didn't do great. Destroyers are tough. They're not just something you can run over with weight of attacks, apparently. I did kill 1 for only 1 wound in return, but that's really not what I wanted, and they fly, so that's not even going to tie them up next turn. Down here, the battle wagon failed its charge, which was disappointing, but the boys were able to chew through the majority of that unit, and he's used a CP to keep them alive, so they are not about to run away, and then they're all going to resurrect next turn. As for objectives, I would have got Scour the Skies if I'd wiped out one of those Destroyer units, but they're tough. Assassinate wasn't going to happen, and I'm neither hold the line nor advance at the moment. I'm going to discard hold the line, but yeah, I scored nothing that turn, so Sam gets the point. And here we go with the 3rd and probably decisive Necron turn. So a really good turn for the Necrons here. Sam had gambited 2, but he ended up scoring 3. So he had, his objectives were Area Denial, Defend 4, Assassinate, and Advance. Advance was the one he didn't score, because as you can see, the bulk of his army is still holding back here. The only real movement was pulling these guys out of combat and pulling these guys out of combat, and the Wraiths came over to threaten the war boss. Shooting was where the damage was really done. These guys were able to wipe out the boys here, and there was something else there as well, wasn't? No, that was it. They got killed by the shooting of the Tesla and the... Oh no, they couldn't shoot, so it was the Destroyers that killed them. And then over in the centre, everything... Oh sorry, the Destroyers shot for the truck in the centre, that died, causing area denial. Sorry, my brain's in a bit of an odd place. And then over here, everything else shot at the boys, left them on 2 guys who ran away. So yeah, pretty nasty shooting phase. Oh, and actually the warriors shot the Shokkjump Dragsta and killed that as well. And then finally the Wraiths assaulted the war boss and did exactly enough wounds to kill him. So yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad army here, the Orks. I'm not even going to say Necrons were necessarily a bad matchup, but I really haven't played this very well. So he got 3 objectives there, and he got Warlord, and he got his 2 gambits, so that's a really high scoring turn. There's probably no coming back for this, but I do want to test what some other things can do in this army. So gambited 1 again this turn, which was pretty good because I didn't have great cards. I had Advanced, Scour the Skies, Assassinate, Kingslayer. And yeah, with a very small unit, a very small number of Orks left, I just had to go all out attack. Let's see what we can do. So I moved all of this up towards the Immortals and got this just out of the deployment zone and up to threaten the Scarabs. That then proceeded to shoot the Scarabs off the table, which was nice. So the shooter boy is doing something at least there. And over here, I managed to kill a Wraith with the shooting of this sort of bundle of guys from behind before it all charged in and just ran over the Immortals. The Death Roller was pretty nice, got the 8 attacks on there from the D6 extra, so that was cool. And it was the Knobs who did a lot of the damage as well. Still 2 Immortals left there. It wasn't a complete massacre, but they fled. But at least I killed something, so you know, it's all good. Also got Advanced that turn, so that's 1 point for that, plus 1 point for my Gambit. That's 2 points. Not amazing, but we're starting to head in the right direction at least. So yeah, on to Necron turn 4. And Necron turn 4, Sam gambited 1, and he had to hold the line, so he just pulled some units back into his deployment zone, and then used his superior numbers and firepower to wipe out the majority of what I have left on the board. The truck that was in the middle got blown up by the destroyers, and then the Tesla Immortals split their fire between between the boys that came out and the battle wagon. Didn't do a lot to the battle wagon, but killed a fair chunk of the boys. The warriors, what did the warriors shoot? Oh, they split between the battle wagon and the boys as well, killed a few boys, didn't do a lot to the battle wagon. The Knobs were obliterated by these destroyers here, and then the Wraiths charged the battle wagon, didn't do a lot to it, and it hit back and did a couple of wounds, but ultimately I'm now sitting in a position where I'm behind on points and I have 2 damaged empty transports on the board versus most of Sam's army. So there you go, GG mate. So not a good outing there for the Orks, but I really do feel like that wasn't a case of the Codex is necessarily bad. You know, it may not be quite as powerful as people are thinking, but I
would agree with that. Definitely agree with that.
Yeah, but I think I made some terrible mistakes, both in choices of my list and my how I played it as well.
I mean, I don't think your list is fundamentally flawed.
Yes, it is. I haven't got a Deathkiller Wartrike in there yet.
Yeah. Once you drop a unit of Chopper Boys in the truck, put the Wartrike in, and go from there, that's a good base to start from. Yeah,
definitely. I say it's going to be built around the Wartrike with probably more bikes, maybe some knob bikes. There's certainly a lot of analysis that needs to be done on that Codex, though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my first impressions of it, I was kind of disappointed for all the points increases. My lists generally are more expensive now in the Codex than they were in the Index. Even making new lists with the Codex, they're still more expensive than they would have been in the Index.
Yeah, because you're running Horde of Boys, Absolute Horde of Boys, Storm Boys, yeah, custom Mega Cannons, they went up, all the stuff you run, whereas all the stuff I run has pretty much gone down, apart from Boys, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, boys are fundamentally the base of your army, and the fact that they've gone in points sort of counteracts everything else coming down. I mean, it balances out if you play the right list.
Yeah, I say it's going to lead to very different Orc lists, and hopefully a lot more variety.
Yeah. But yeah, I do like the Orc Codex. The new rules we've got are really good. I just don't think they're the hype that everyone's making them out to be. They're still hitting on 5s and you're shooting. Dakka great, but it barely came into game this.
So I had a lot of rapid fire in type weapons in there, you know, the bikes or the big shooters, and I found that even when Dakka went off, it didn't really give me that many extra hits because you still got to roll the hits on them.
Yeah, say one tactic. I mean, there's tactics I fought with Orcs, like if you have 2 blobs of 30, and a group of grots in front of them, if your opponent targets one of them, you can grot shield one unit, and then the next unit he'll go, well, the next unit's not grot shield, so I'll try and kill that off. So if he tries and kills that off and doesn't do it, you can you've kept your big blob safe with grot shields, and the other blobs reduce, so you just spend the 3 command points, bring it back, you get to teleport across the board, and then you jump with the other squad. That's 30 boys on their table edge turn 1.
That stratagem is really quite nice.
That's amazing.
It is 3 command points, but Endless Green Tide or Unstoppable Green Tide, it's awesome. I'm really, you know, expecting to use that in the majority of my games.
Definitely, yeah, I'll always use it. It's just such a good stratagem.
Absolutely. I mean, 3 command points, you get basically a whole mob not only back but also into a really good position.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't have as big an impact in that game because basically I sucked with dice rolling, and Necrons are pretty tough to kill. But
yeah. Well, we were saying Necrons aren't an overly counter build, because the Necrons, everyone knows they suck currently.
They don't suck. They're not top tier, but they're not the worst thing out there.
Yeah, they're not Grey Knights, but they're pretty close.
They're the same colour.
But at least Orkz are better, so it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, I think this codex, you know, there are some strong builds in there.
Gotta find them.
You got to dig for them though, and you got to work it out. It's not going to be the auto win button that certain codexes are.
Yeah.
Not top tier. Would you say that's fair?
I wouldn't say top tier. No, it's an improvement, but
it's a huge improvement.
The weakness of Orkz is they're really squishy. You know, I was taking out your trucks with destroyers all the time, and then your dragster died to basic warrior fire.
Yeah, you know. The dragster didn't get a chance to shine there. First turn it missed both its shots. You know, it's the most accurate orc vehicle and it missed twice. And then the second turn I didn't really have much to shoot it at, and then the third turn it was dead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to digging into the codex and seeing what's in there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And getting like proper into grips with it. I mean, I've watched Striking Scorpion's review over and over and over and over again, so I know what's in there, I know what the points are. It's just getting into the nitty gritty of it and seeing what works and making a handful of lists.
Yeah. So one thing I would say, just mentioning the Striking Scorpion review and some other reviews, a few people have been saying that Tankbuster's got nerfed. I've seen it a few times on the internet, and I know you thought it as well.
Yeah, he claimed, I think he mentioned, he said reroll 1, so I think it might have been a slip of the tongue on his part.
Yeah, he misspoke, slip of the tongue. Tankbusters have not been nerfed. They are exactly the same as they were before. They do have a stratagem that allows grenades to be chucked at really close range, like the whole squad throw their grenades.
Just to throw a whole load of Tankbuster bombs. One stratagem you didn't use, which I was expecting you to use, especially on your bikes, is the more Dakka stratagem. 2 command points to get Dakka on a 5+.
I think in hindsight, maybe running that on like a 12-man bike squad, that could do some serious damage.
Bikes are optimal now because they're just so much cheaper than they were. They're certainly
a lot better. I mean, they're 4 points a model cheaper. They benefit from Dakka quite nicely, and most of the cultures benefit them. Obviously, Evil Sunz is amazing, and Evil Sunz next to a Deathkiller Wartrike, they're pretty much an 80% chance of a turn 1 charge.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
another thing we were saying with the Deathkiller Wartrike. Sorry, having lots of Speed Freak units gets you advanced charging with them. If you make the Wartrike your Warlord, there's a Warlord trait which gives you the War Boss's version of War, which works on your infantry. So your Wartrike then buffs everyone run charge. So sticking next to Storm Boys and bikes, and you're laughing. And
Storm Boys are one that's going to need that because they lost run charge but gained auto run 6.
Yeah, they do explode when they advance 6, which is just
that's Orky, you know. I don't mind rules like that. Like the Shokkjump Dragsta, if it rolls a 1 on its shooting, it can take some damage. You know, there are, you know, I don't mind rules like that on Orks as long as they're balanced by, you know, something equally good, like it can teleport and fire off what is almost a las cannon.
Yeah, I mean, most of the guns got better as well. I mean, you look at the custom mega cannon, went from D3 to D6 damage. Yeah, it went up 15 points.
But you don't have to pay for the grots now.
Yeah, I mean, and that's included. It was 45 odd, now it's 60.
And the Death Roller got better.
Yeah, Battle Wagon's got good.
Yeah, I mucked it up a few times. I mean, there was one point where I'd have loved to have run charge on that wagon, which I'd have had next to the trike. And, you know, I could see myself at least trying out a list with 2 Bone Crushers, obviously both packing the Death Rollers, for 2 6 plus d6 attacks each on the charge, hitting on 2s at like strength 8 or 9. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this codex. It should be really cool. And we noticed that the 3d6 charge, what's it called?
Ramming speed.
Ramming speed. You could use it on a Morkanaut or a Death Dread.
Yeah, it doesn't specify that it has to be a wheeled vehicle or a Speed Freaks vehicle. So, you know, you get your Evil Sunz Morkanaut in reserve, deep strike it in. That thing can then pull off its charge is 3d6. I think the Morkanaut has Here We Go, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but so you're 9 inches out, but you're doing 3d6 plus 1 because it's Evil Sunz, doing d3 mortal wounds on the hit, and then tearing into them with a Morkanaut.
I mean, I personally prefer my bad moons. The reroll ones makes the shooting much more optimal. So.
And certainly safer with certain weapons, although...
Yeah, the custom Mega Zapper being 3d3 and it gets hot, so...
Yeah, so yeah, that could be pretty cool. There's certainly some lovely combos in here. You've just got to dig around, and I'm going to need to add a lot of models to my collection because...
Yeah, fix your Death Copters because they got good as well. I mean, they got points reduction to the point where they're actually usable.
Yeah, Copter's got a big points reduction and obviously all the benefits from being Evil Sunz. They're another potential turn 1 charge or charge off the reserve. They can do either.
The buggies will be good for you as well. What's the other one in a Speed Freak box? The Custom Booster Blaster?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I like. I think that a couple of those in your list would be decent.
Yeah, certainly has a place. I think it maybe... I'm looking forward to the... Megatrack Scrapjet, because that thing has got a decent amount of firepower. Actually, it's got the wing missiles are +1 to hit against flyers, I think, which is useful, and they're basically a rocket launcher, a missile launcher. Then you've got the rocket cannon, which is like a 2d3 shots rocket basically, and then it's basically a power fist in combat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the jet. I mean, getting hold of the models is going to be hard because they have sold out like hotcakes, proper hotcakes, in a fat kid club.
But you know, I've got other stuff to build in the meantime. Might need to rejig some of my configurations because it's not an army I've played properly since 7th.
Boys in trucks don't work. That's one thing I've realised. Boys in trucks are just, they don't have enough punch.
No,
and you're paying a lot of points for them now.
I think what I would probably run in, if I was running just 3 troops choices, I'd have my big mob of 30 because that still works. I mean, if you were running more of a hoardy list, you'd have multiple mobs of 30, but
maybe one mob of 10 in a truck with shooters, and then a mob of Gretchen to hide your mob of 30 behind turn 1.
Say that again because you weren't mic'd.
So yeah, you want your big mob of 30.
Absolutely.
Second troop choice for your battalion, 10 Gretchen or 20 Gretchen in front of that mob of 30, so they don't get shot to Gork turn 1.
Thank
PC. you. PC, remember?
Yes, I'm trying to keep this relatively PG, which is hard with Sam.
And then you just have a shooter boy mob in a truck for your style that you like, just to cap objectives. Maybe put a war boss in with turn 1 to protect him, or the weird boy to protect him. Yeah. Because there are sniper characters out there, so I always like to put my weird boys and characters in a truck. 1, it reduces your drops. 2, it keeps them safe. Yeah, I was considering doing that today, actually, leaving him in the truck, but A, I forgot to do it, and B, I knew Sam didn't have any snipers, so I wasn't overly worried. If I'd seen death marks, it might have been a different matter. I mean, it did increase your drops to above mine. So this is true, which maybe wasn't great, but, you know, still learning the army. You know, it's my first game with Orkz in over a year, first game with the new codex. It's a learning curve, but it's looking fun. I'm really happy with the new codex. The stratagems are boss as well. You know, yeah, we've lost the war boss in Mega Armor and Bike and Mech on a... Just run the index models. Yeah, I mean, I won't because I don't like doing it, but, you know... I may do, depending on, you know, what I choose to run. I mean, I have a war boss on a bike. I have an old infantry mech without the mega armor with the KFF. I have a pain boy on a bike. You know, there are things that in my collection I want to use, but, you know, I guess it depends on what your sort of local accepted standards are. I mean, generally GW say you can use the index. Yeah, GW do, and then all the tournaments here and local do. So there's no real reason not to if you got the index. If you haven't got the index, then you know, you may need to find one on eBay. Yeah. Slight tangent apart from Orkz. Chapter Approved coming out. It's now the 1st of something. It's the 2nd of November today. Well, it's the 3rd of November actually. Yeah. But yeah, midnights. Good job. Yeah. Well, yeah, but it is past midnight. Yeah. But yeah, chapter approved coming out in a month, and with all the Orc changes to the wording being unmodified roll of, do we think we're going to see changes to rolls, the way rolls work in 40k in chapter approved? Say like your plasma guns and gets hot weapons, is it going to become unmodified rolls? My Tesla, is it going to become unmodified roll of 6?
It's certainly the way Games Workshop are going, because they've done it in Sigma. I've noticed with my Stormcast, a lot of effects that took effect on a 6+ now take place on a natural 6, and we're seeing the same with the Orc Codex. And to be honest, I think it would stop certain cheesy combos.
It stops some powerful combos. I mean, it does. Necron players won't be happy because their Tesla doesn't get My Will Be Done. And
Tesla's busted.
Tesla is really good, but it's the only good thing other than a Tesseract Vault that we have.
Wraiths.
Yeah, Wraiths are in every other game destroyed really, really quickly. It's just you suck.
Okay, the other thing, obviously, it's going to stop silly things that don't make sense. Like if I fire my plasma weapons at Alatok Rangers in cover, it's like I overheat much more reliably, and it's like that. You know, it doesn't care if I miss the target or not. How should that affect whether I overheat?
Yeah, it never made sense to me. Why does the target being hard to hit make my gun more likely to explode in my face?
So maybe they'll fix that, but we shall have to wait and see. Not long till chapter approved, and you can guarantee that we'll have an opinion on it. Yeah,
I'm hoping for some good points drops to some factions. I know Grey Knights are in desperate need of it, and Necrons need it.
I'm expecting Orkz not to get anything based off the fact Eldar didn't get any changes and they were the closest codex to it.
Eldar will probably get nerfed some more because everyone loves the nerf hammer on the Eldar, especially Inari.
Yeah, but certain Eldar things have been nerfed 3 or 4 times and are still optimal, like Shining Spears, and Shining Spears have had a nerf, have had 2 nerfs. Dark Reapers have had a nerf to Yunari and a points increase, and they're still amazing.
I say the problem with Eldar currently, I mean, take this as a wider range of things. Just increasing the points doesn't fundamentally fix the problem of what's wrong with the unit. No. Taking Dark Reapers, for example, if they simply changed them from damage 3 to damage D3, that really fixes them.
Make him damage D6.
Yeah, just to make people like me who hate Space Elves cry a little bit.
But with my dice rolling, damage D6 is worse than flat 3.
You roll 2 every time. There was one turn you was just like 2, 2, 2, 2 for all your D6 runs. I was like, lol.
Yeah.
You picked up one of my dice and rolled a 2.
All my advances were 2s, which, you know, is 3s because we're Evil Sunz.
Yeah, but didn't overly change the game. You still made your charges and all that.
Some of it, yeah. But anyway, I hope that was an interesting review, even if the game was a bit one-sided. And thanks a lot for watching.
Yep. Cheers. See you next time.
See you later. Bye.